America's most powerful AI chips are among the most tightly controlled technologies on Earth. They are essential for advanced artificial intelligence, military simulations, and large-scale data processing. And yet, between late 2024 and early 2025, hundreds of these chips quietly left the United States, without permission. No hacked systems. Just paperwork. This is the story of how falsified documents, shell companies, and routine shipping processes allowed America's most guarded AI technology to reach destinations it was never meant to reach. The chips at the center of this case are Nvidia H100 and H200 Tensor Core GPUs. These are not consumer graphics cards. They are purpose-built processors designed for training large language models, advanced AI research, high-performance computing, defense and intelligence applications. Because of their strategic importance, the US government classifies these chips under strict export control regulations. Sending them to certain countries, particularly China and Hong Kong, requires a special export license. Without that license, exporting them is a federal crime. The rules exist for one reason: to slow the spread of advanced AI capabilities to geopolitical rivals. But as this case shows, the system is only as strong as the paperwork behind it. At the center of the scheme was a US-based individual operating through a Texas-registered company. On paper, the company looked legitimate. It purchased GPUs from US suppliers. It worked with logistics companies. It filed shipping documents like thousands of other exporters every day. But prosecutors allege that this company was essentially a front. Its real purpose was not domestic resale or lawful export. Its purpose was to move restricted AI chips out of the US while hiding the true destination. The process was deceptively simple. First, the company purchased large quantities of Nvidia H100 and H200 GPUs from US technology suppliers. Then came the critical step: misrepresentation. According to court filings, shipping documents misclassified the chips as ordinary computer parts. Descriptions such as computer servers, adapter modules, or generic electronics were used. Export forms omitted or falsified the true end user and final destination. Instead of shipping directly to China or Hong Kong, which would trigger scrutiny, the GPUs were routed through third countries, including Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia. This technique is known as transshipment, and it is a classic method used to evade export controls. On paper, everything looked routine. In reality, the chips were simply passing through. Money flows were just as complex as the shipping routes. Payments for the GPUs did not always come directly from the final recipients. Instead, funds moved through foreign shell companies' accounts in multiple jurisdictions, intermediaries claiming to be technology service providers. These layered transactions helped obscure who was actually paying for and receiving the chips. Investigators later traced these payments back to entities connected to China-based technology interests. Again, no hacking. No secret networks. Just strategic use of global finance and trade infrastructure. What ultimately raised red flags was pattern recognition. Large volumes of high-end GPUs. Repeated misclassification of sensitive technology. Inconsistent end-user information. Unusual routing for extremely valuable hardware. US authorities concluded that the activity was not accidental or negligent, it was deliberate. According to court documents, the defendant later admitted to knowingly exporting the GPUs in violation of US export laws and submitting false or misleading export information. The case resulted in criminal charges related to smuggling, unlawful export of controlled technology, false export declarations under US law. These offenses carry severe penalties, including multi-year prison sentences, heavy financial forfeitures, permanent bans on export-related business. The plea agreement makes clear that this was treated not as a regulatory technicality, but as a national security violation. This case reveals something uncomfortable. The world's most advanced export control system was defeated not by espionage, but by ordinary trade processes. Invoices, bills of lading, shipping descriptions. The same documents used millions of times a day in global commerce. As AI hardware becomes more valuable and more geopolitically sensitive, this case raises serious questions. Are export controls keeping pace with global trade complexity? Can paperwork alone protect strategic technology? And how many similar shipments were never detected? This wasn't a story about stolen chips. It was a story about how easily the rules can be bent when trust, paperwork, and global logistics intersect. And it shows that in the age of AI, control over technology may be decided less by innovation and more by documentation.